Well, hello everyone, this is the Scottish Sim Guy and welcome back to the channel. So here we are on my farm called Wood End Farm that I built on Oak Ridge Springs. So if you did see my previous video, that was a little farm tour of this build, because just obviously the build was a little bit too long. It was 39 hours, so to put that in a video would be a bit long even with time lapse. So this is just going to be a little series on the build that I've done here. So we're running kind of, what are we, 70 cattle, 50 ewes. So one of today's jobs is going to go and gather up the sheep and move them down and into the shed. So we're going to go and gather up some of the sheep here. So we've got 25 up in this pasture here. So if you are all wondering what's on front of the quad bike, that is the herdsman stick, which is absolutely brilliant for moving livestock about. And a big shout out and thanks to the midlife simster for showing me that on the front of the quad bike, because I was walking about with it just thinking, well, this is the way to do it and you have to walk out here with a stick, whereas I had never even thought of sticking it in front of the quad bike and strapping it down to be able to move everything about. So it does make a big difference. So I'm just going to jump into my settings now because I want to turn field info off. There we go, and we're going to get these here, and we're going to I need to move that a bit closer. It's not registering, so I'm going to stick the herdsman stick just a little bit closer. And what I'm going to do, jump off, going to there again. I'm going to select all 25 of them. I'm going to move them to the trailer, so the herdsman stick is the trailer. That's all out of this pasture. One of the other jobs is going to come out and gather up these pallets here and get them sold on. So we're just going to go down to the other sheep pasture and we'll get those ones gathered up and we'll get them stuck in the shed, because they are close to lambing now. They should be lambing by April. So, quad bike doesn't move steer as well as some other things. So we'll go down here and we will get these ewes gathered up here and get them into the shed, because I kind of want to try and keep things, you know, reasonably realistic within reason. So obviously some places will lamb their ewes outside, and I just thought of leaving them out and bringing the lambs in once they're lambed to fatten them up a bit. But I'm going to kind of bring them into lamb and then I'll leave the lambs in to fatten them up, and I'll put the ewes back out into the field. So we'll just get them gathered up and move these ones to the trailer. So there we are, that's those ones all moved. And then we'll stick these in the shed, we'll stick some grass bales in for them so they've got plenty of feeding. And then I think one of the other jobs I'm going to do is move a little bit of dung and try and get that held down about a bit. The cattle will be going out soon anyway. They should be going out by May, I would have thought, depending on what the weather's like. But we'll see how that goes. So I don't want to try and keep them in all year round. So I've used these fenceless animal pastures, which are quite good. So I've got one field split into two different pastures for putting the cattle in. The reason I put two into one rather than make one big one is the thing that we have on console as I'm playing on is that no matter what your husbandry is, the maximum amount of cattle you're going to get to see in each husbandry is 10. So to make it look a little bit more realistic and a bit more cattle in that field rather than 10 in one big field, I've now got 20. So that's the way I've kind of done it. Mostly just because of that. one pasture is far big enough for all the cattle that I've got, but on aesthetics and what it looks like, I was like, I'll divide it into two pastures, and with that I can have 20 cattle in that field visually. It just seems a bit better. So that's what I decided to do. With the sheep, I've just split it. Right, so, right, unload from herdsman's stick, here we go. So I'm going to move to husbandry, and then that is our sheep in here. No, I want to strap that back down, that's better, and then we will reverse out of here, go and park this up, and obviously leave the gate open, it's not as if they're going to go anywhere, and I'll basically go get the forklift, we'll stick some grass bales in and get them fed, and that's them done and out the way, and yeah, then we can get some dung moved, I think. One of the main reasons, well, for moving dung is I don't think that the manure heaps are quite working. Whether it's just this me here personally, I don't know. And I have seen on other videos people's that aren't just seem to be working the same either. I've got the kind of elevator one there, manure heap, and it just basically seems to only fill so much. Some are still getting registered in the sheds. Not entirely sure, maybe my doing, but once it kind of seems to fill up a little bit, I do get up to the point of where it's starting to show visually in the sheds, and that's great for mucking out and showing you can actually muck out the pens, but I think it's just happening a little bit too soon, and I'm thinking that if I muck out a bit of the dung midden, that'll allow and give a bit of space for stuff in the sheds to go in and maybe not look like it's filling up with dung, because as well with it filling up with dung it just doesn't look right, it just looks like a big massive line right down the middle of the shed, which is not going to happen. So right, that's about 7,000 something litres in there, so that'll do them. I can fling another bale in later on tonight or whatever, but that should do them just now in there. And we'll go and we'll put these forks back. I'll go put the bucket on, stick a trailer on the tractor, and we'll load up some dung and get rid of some dung. So I'll just stick those there. But you'll see I'm kind of using older kit when I can be. I do like this old John Deere forklift, telehandler. I used to drive one back in the day, and the one thing I always noticed with these telehandlers, the John Deere ones, the 3400s, the brakes were as sharp as anything on them. You just, well, the one I drove anyway, you just had to touch the brakes slightly and the thing just would throw you out the seat. So yeah, they were good at stopping, that's for sure. So yeah, and it just kind of, it's the kind of oldest forklift in the game now, so it's one of the reasons why I thought I'd use it as well. So that's that. So we'll go down, we'll get the 7810, we'll stick the class trailer on, and we'll get a little bit of dung moved, and then we'll probably get some of that wool loaded up and get some of that wool sold, and that gets it out the field. And it'd be great if that was kind of realistic as well, you know, you only shear sheep at a certain time of year. They're not producing wool all year round, so why they feel that the urge of that's why something they have to have coming from sheep all the time is beyond me. Yeah, it's different if you've got dairy cattle, you've got milk coming from them all the time, but beef cattle you don't. So sheep are the same. Sheep are being bred for the lamb. So with that, the wool's just a byproduct basically. Wool is, there's no money really in wool these days, so a lot of people don't even bother selling it to the wool mills. They just shear them and get rid of them. A lot of people are actually using them for insulation and things like that now, so why we're getting a constant supply of wool in the game is something that's just not realistic. And if they want, but that's the thing, they've obviously got to try and make a game out of it and how you make money somehow, but I like the realistics of it. So as well, we're now March, so April my cows will have been lambed, and then another 5 months they're going to have more. Well, that's not going to happen in real life either. Yeah, granted, I get the gestation period is 5 months, but with that, they ain't lambing every 5 months in real life. They only lamb at a certain time of the year in the spring, or towards the spring. So yeah, there's lots to be done with the game, and obviously console we are restricted. Getting a bit more stuff coming out on PC now to be able to deal with that realistic livestock mod and stuff. So there may be the day where I can see myself with a PC, but not right now. So we'll just plod away. We'll get this load up. I don't even know where I'm going to put this yet. I'm just wanting to try and get a little bit of it emptied out. I have kind of got a gateway that I can go and dump it on, and then once the fields are emptied, I can get it into dung spreaders and get it spread. But we'll get a load out anyway, and then get a few loads maybe. We'll stick it on time lapse and let it get done, and that way we get through it a little bit quicker and the videos aren't going to be too long. But never really done a series like this. The majority of my series are time lapse series, and I just kind of play a bit of music and just do videos. If any of you have ever watched A Little Farmer, I kind of like those videos. There's no talking, there's no nothing, it's just playing the game in time lapse, and I do quite enjoy them. So that's kind of what I usually done, and I kind of got that idea from A Little Farmer. But thought I'll do something a little bit different. I'll talk through this one. Whether I keep it up, I don't know, we'll see. My problem is I've got quite a busy job, so trying to find the time to get on and be able to do all the talking and things is quite hard, where it's a bit easier for myself. Sometimes I'm up early in the morning. With that I can just jump on, and then I can play a little bit of the game and record it, and it's easier to put it into a time lapse. Doing this, kind of sitting down with a microphone out and recording it all and doing it all, I don't always get the time to be able to do it, so we may see how the series goes, but it's working just now anyway, so we'll keep at it. So yeah, we'll get this done, loaded up, and the kind of plan would be for the series, just plod away at the farm, and kind of grow it. There's expansion, there's room for expansion. We can put in more cattle sheds or replace them, and the machinery, we can get bigger, and we can just see how it goes. That's a trailer full. Stick that. And the thing is, what I might do as well is there's not a lot of manure heap silos. Maybe one of the plans would be to put one somewhere else, so when I cart this stuff, I'm taking it somewhere. I may need to move this other tractor out the way just to get past. I should be able to get past there. So yeah, I mean I could technically just dump it out here, but I'll put it to where I'm going to need it. So these are the arable fields here. So I've got linseed on the right there, I've got oilseed rape on the left, and we've got 2 wheat fields and 2 barley fields up here. So the wheat's on the left, barley's on the right. Now there are good big gateways and things here, and there's plenty of room where you could pile some dung along the side here. But I think my plan and what I'll do is I'm going to come up here. Probably the best thing to try and reverse along here, try and make it a bit realistic anyway, is to get in here, drive on the crop a little bit, and good, it's not going to work, it doesn't turn tight enough, this trailer. Let's try again. See, I thought this out. So we get there we go, and see there's that kind of that track there. So I can put dung on and I can load it up. But maybe the thing would be to do is along here would be to put a dung midden as well, so that way it's getting collected and it's not going to spew everywhere. But no, if I do that and get some loads tucked along here, you know, used to do this as well, and find a little bit of a field that wasn't getting used and just hit the dung if you needed to get it out if the midden at the farm was getting too big. So there's that gate there, it technically doesn't need to get used, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start a little pile of dung here. I'll get a few loads out from the midden and empty it out a little bit, and then we'll get on to something else. So basically I'm going to get on with this, guys, and I'll catch yous in a little bit when we've got a good bit of it done. Well, I think 3 loads of dung will probably just about do it, so we'll go back down here now, because that's the kind of, when your heap kind of emptied out a good little bit, it's probably more than half of it out. So that'll do for just now. So I'll go and hitch this trailer off and put the bale trailer on and go and shift these pallets of wool and go and get them sold, see where the best place to go and sell them is, and that'll give us a little bit of money if we do need to spend anything at some point, but hoping not to spend a lot of money or need to buy anything in. Maybe as equipment starts to get bigger, we've got money, equipment, tractors get bigger, we'll be able to replace some things and things get bigger, but apart from that, I'm not really needing anything. I've kind of got everything that I need on the farm. And one of the ways I thought as well to make a bit of money is obviously doing contracts, but I only want to do contracts, and it's a way I've always usually done contracts, is I only do contracts if I've got the equipment to do it. I'm not going to hire in the equipment to do it, and obviously Oakbridge is big fields, so depending on what the job is, if it was like a ploughing contract, it's going to be like 50 acres, or a sowing contract, it's 50 acres. I've got a 4 metre seeder here, so with that it's going to take a long time. So, but some of these contracts, you know, for sowing 50 acre, it's going to be a lot of money, so it might be worth a while when there's not a lot like the now happening on the farm. I do what I need to do, and I'll go away and do a little bit of contracting to bring the money in to then be able to help us bank everything. And I'm trying not to spend too much in the first year, if anything at all, and plod away, see how we get on, and then we'll go from there. I'll need to shift this 7710 out of the way, and get down into that bale trailer there. So I'll just go and stick this in the silage pit out of the way, and that way it will be sitting out the way now. It was just getting in the way there, moving it back there, but if I stick it in here out the way, and then go and stick the forks on the telehandler. After that, if I can remember where I stuck the forks, they'll be about somewhere. Oh, I think they are in where the fertiliser and the seed bags are, so I can get that, but and get that done, so yeah. But guys, as this kind of grows, I'm hoping to try and stick with this one. If you know, and if you do know me and my channel and have followed us for a while, you know I am mostly farm builds, and you will see I've done some series, and yeah, with majority of my series I start and I do a couple of episodes, and then I do get bored or a new map comes out or something and I just kind of go off it. But sometimes as well that's got to do with the fact that I am quite busy in my personal life, so sometimes I don't always get to go on all the time, and I can go a while without even playing the game at points. So it's one I want to try and stick with, and I think with Farming Simulator 25 I've probably done the most. And if you've seen when I started in Farming Simulator 25, I've done Sri Lanka. I think that was the most ever episodes of a series I'd ever done, and it's one thing that it's kind of kept me from going back onto 22. As much as 22 is absolutely brilliant and 25's had its problems, I really love using the GPS. It's just an absolute game changer for a content creator like myself, especially on console, that you can have the GPS going, you don't need to worry about anything else, and with that you can get your camera angles and all that in the field a lot better. And then sometimes I thought I'll jump back onto 22 because 25's not that good at the moment. It's got problems, it's got bugs, and then you're having to manually steer, and it just, yeah. So I'm hoping that this series will last a good while, or I'll get a good few episodes in it anyway. I do see that Lady Hill has came out by FS Landscapes, so if any of you have seen that map, it was in 22. Maybe my palette forks aren't in here. I did think they were in there, but obviously not, so we better find my palette forks. So yeah, I want to go and have a jump onto that map and have a little look and see what's happening with it, and if there's any changes been made. Now this is it. Oh, there they are there. Next to the quad bike. I was like, I know these pallet forks are somewhere. I was just trying to remember where you've actually put them. Yeah, next to the quad bike and with the silage wrap. So there we go. Right, we can now go and get wool. And this is the thing, it's, if you've watched my farm builds as well, I don't really put sheep on them. I just usually do cattle and arable, or just arable. And I've decided to put some sheep on here, so it's not a thing that I've really done. And so, I mean, I don't know, do you make much money from wool? I'm not entirely sure. So we're going to load it up and go and sell it and see how much we make from what we've got here. And if we can make a good bit of money, then that's all the better, and I'm quite happy for it to keep producing wool all year round. So hopefully, there we go. Get that on. And this is when you put your skills to the test. Cool. But yeah, if you do like my channel, guys, and you do like what I do, don't forget to subscribe, give us a little thumbs up, ring that little bell if needs be, as Tom Pemberton says. Just it all does help and like, and it helps me out a lot, just with all these likes and things like that. It gets you kind of a wee bit more noticed on YouTube, and you know, not that I'm doing this for any recognition or anything, I just enjoy playing Farm Simulator. And if any of you don't know my background and my history, and I've not spoke to you before, I'm on a few Facebook pages, but I mean, this is what I used to do. I don't do it anymore, but I worked on farms since I was like 14 all the way up until I was 36, so I'm now 42, so it's something that's been part of my life. So when 22 came out, I'd get right into the game. I had played 17 and 19, but when 22 came out, I really did get into it. And with that, I just started making a little bit of content, and it's kind of just got more and more. And as I said, since 25's come out, that's when I've had more followers and more views and things like that. So it just makes you want to do a bit more and get on a little bit better with it as well. So it does all help, and there's a lot of great guys out there that are kind of making content like myself. It doesn't have a big channel, you know. I think I've just got about maybe just less than 1,200 subscribers, and there's some great content creators out there just doing their own thing. They're not doing it for any reason, they're just doing it because they love playing the game. And another one, as I said, I've already mentioned already, but is the Midlife Simster. He's the same as myself, roughly the same age, just likes playing Farm Simulator. He's not doing it to be perfect or that, he's just doing it for a bit of fun, exactly like myself. So, right, we'll go and dump that there, and we'll jump down. Actually, just do it the quick way. We'll just jump into that tractor, put that over there, and bring this up and get it loaded. So we've got 2,510 litres of wool. So I think we'll probably have the same over here, so that would be just over 5,000 litres of wool all in total. So I don't know what you get per litre. So I don't know if it's whether better stacking this somewhere and keeping it till I get a full trailer and taking the full trailer somewhere, or just going and selling it and out as is. And the way that I've actually set up that shed as well, guys, is that shed can produce wool. So with that, the way that I've placed it, because I'll place buildings close together, is that the point where the pallets spawn is actually in another building, so it won't actually spawn the pallets, which is ideal for me. Means they're not, when they're in the shed, they're not producing wool, which has its bonuses, I suppose, and they'll only do it outside. It's just I hadn't actually even noticed. I couldn't find where the spawn point was for the wool until I'd actually placed the shed down and stuff, and actually put some sheep in it in a bit of testing, and I went, oh, where is that? And then, yeah, realised it's inside another building, because I'd placed the two buildings next to each other really, really close. But not that it really matters, so there's that one loaded up. I always find doing bales and stuff, loading bales, I'm usually okay at stacking them, but when it comes to pallets, I mean, I'm not even anywhere near that pallet and it's started to move. So stacking pallets is a completely different story, so I'm just going to get these on higgledy-piggledy, and yeah, I'll just go and get them sold. So you will notice when I built this farm that I've got the hedges in, but the ones that came with the map from Oxy, but what I've done, because the hedges had no collisions whatsoever, all the hedges have got fences outside of them, and that's just something that I've kind of always done, believe it or not. And kind of one of the main reasons why I used to do it a lot was in 22 was AI workers, mostly so that they would stick to the one field. Because sometimes, I don't know if any of you have ever played Somerset, so Somerset was a great little UK map, and the fields were really small. It was great for smaller kit and realistic as well, but if you set an AI worker off to do a certain job in a field, you could guarantee that he was going to be in a completely different field by the time he came back to him when he'd ripped up half a field. So it's a thing that I've always kind of done, was put fences down if there was no collisions in the hedges, just to kind of stop that. So I've kind of still done it on here just because of that. So we'll find out when we start to use an AI worker with GPS whether they still try to go through hedges or not. Something I've not tested yet, but I don't think they will. But right, pallet on, last one. So I'm going to go and put the forklift back, and then we're going to come back to this tractor, going to look at where we can sell this wool, and we'll go and get it sold. And that's another job ticked off the list. And I've noticed the kind of difference as well. This grass is looking quite green now, but during the winter it actually looked really brown and quite dead, and as the kind of seasons are changing now, it's getting greener and greener. But basically the grass is, I think, all ready to go, so I think as soon as April comes I'm going to do one field for grass bales, just so I've got a wee kind of stock there for sheep. And I think as soon as May hits I'm going to take a cut of silage. So if I've not got my silage pit empty, I'm going to probably sell that silage there, because I've got the bales there, and then I'll get that silage pit filled again. But it's a plan anyway. Whether that happens or not, things can change. You know, you kind of got, I think I've always kind of got to the point where when I do a little series like this or start it, I've got a plan of what I want to try and do and where we want to try and go. But sometimes it doesn't all go to plan. Right, so let's jump into that tractor there. So we've got 5,019 litres of wool. So we'll turn this round and we'll see, we'll bring up the menu and let's see where the best place to sell wool is. So right, wool's the last one. Farmers Market is the best place to sell wool. So you get £2,007. Right, well, I may as well just sell it in all honesty. It's not going to get much higher. It's only like £175 more for waiting till May. So yeah, farmers market, definitely sell that at farmers market. So I'm pretty sure farmers market is along here, is it? That's Katie. Farmers market there. So that's where we're going to go and sell it, definitely. And it's just along the road, so it's not far to take it. So we'll go and take this to the farmers market and we'll get it sold. And see how much income that gets us. I think that's about 4 months I've had the sheep. I think the sheep went in November. So in 4 months they've made just over 5,000 litres of wool. So just say on average that's 1,000 litres per month for 50 ewes. So you're going to get 12,000 litres per year. I think I can go up to, I think it's just about 100 ewes that shed holds. But I kind of halved it because I kind of thought, well, if I've got 100, I've got 100 ewes in there, I'd cut it into 50 and then the old lamb, that's me then got 100 in there. So that was my thinking behind it. This is the first thing I had in on this map, guys, and I've had it for months, was this road in. As I said in my little tour video, when I'm making a kind of farm build on a new map that comes out, so when this did come out for 25, I kind of start a few save games, have a few ideas, try and do them, and then come and go between what one I think's going well. So when it came to this, I'd done a good few farm builds on Oak Bridge and had this all kind of the road in and sitting and never done anything with it. And then obviously Bevington Farm by Scroft came out and I went, you know what, I absolutely love that farm. I'm going to see if I can go back to that and elaborate from that, and it just gave me a bit of inspiration to do it, so that's what we did. Right, so I take it this is farmers market here, so if I just drive on here and then undo the straps, so that is giving me £10,078, so that's not too bad. So yeah, £10,000 for no work basically. So, and I've not really seen the farm from this angle before down here, so yeah, it does look natural and in its place, and it's not out of place at all. And just one thing that really bothers me, since one of the earlier updates, you know, obviously there was no roads on here, and then we got an update and the roads came and it was brilliant, and then we got another update and the roads disappeared again, so we're now left with gravel tracks on this, and we've had several patches since by Giants and nothing seems to have changed, and nothing has brought back these roads, and I don't really want to have to go and do it all myself and do it all and paint it all in, because then that's just more work. So we'll just play the way it is. It works, it's fine. It's there's lots of places in the UK that's gravel roads and tracks and stuff, so it doesn't make a difference. And I don't think it'll be a map I'll be travelling about too much anyway. I think everything will be kind of farm related, apart from selling produce like wheat and our barley and stuff to make money, and a lot of the stuff we'll do will be for food for the cattle and sheep, and obviously selling them. Easiest way to do that's a herdsman stick and stuff. But yeah, so I'll go stick this trailer back down by my little pond here. That's one of the features I decided to add in, just kind of break the area up a little bit, was to put the pond in. So go around this way and a bit of decoration and that round about it. Stick this, you know what, I'll actually leave it there rather than up there, it's out the way a bit. That is well sold. That is dung carted out the way. The sheep are in the shed ready to lamb. So I think, in all honesty, there's not much more that I can kind of do today. It's March, it's a bit early to do everything else, everything's all topped up with food, everything's done. So I think what I'll do is I'll go and park this tractor up, guys, and we'll probably call it a day for episode 1 of the Wood End Farm series, and we'll get hopefully a bit more done in the next episode. Hopefully we'll get some grass cut and we'll get some grass baled, and then that allows us to get some fertiliser on, so we can maybe get some slurry on the grass, that grass field, and things like that. So there'll be a bit more hopefully to do in the next episode. But again, guys, if you have liked the video, you like what I do, don't forget to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, ring that little bell if you want to keep getting a reminder of when my videos come out. It does, as I say, all help, and I really do appreciate it all. Some of you guys are absolutely brilliant. You commenting on my videos. And if I get into this Discord thing, I might start a Discord channel. I know the Midlife Simster has one, and I'm not great with technology as it comes to especially that Discord and setting it all up and figuring it out. But yeah, it might be something that comes in the future. But other than that, guys, thank you very much. Hope you have all enjoyed it, and we'll catch you in the next one.